Thanks so much for visiting Tina Buddy on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the Tina Buddy podcast with me, Dominic.
And me, Erica.
And on today's episode, we're talking all about giving thanks.
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Do we have to talk like this, though?
Yes, because this is a radio show and these people expect us to talk like this all the time.
First of all, talking about giving thanks, actually. Well, this is coming out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is in a couple days.
Couple of days.
Yeah.
Last Thursday of November.
But while we're talking about giving thanks, we need to thank our patrons.
We need to thank the patrons for all of this wonderful gifts we have received.
Because with support from our patrons, we were able to buy a brand new mic stand.
Brand new mic stand, so you don't hear the wobbling anymore.
Yeah, when we hand the mic back and forth while we're talking, or when we're waving it around
waving it around so you can hear wind. And we've also got a pop filter too, which eliminates that annoying I think it does it. Well, yeah, it should eliminate that too, but I think that might be an internal issue. But we're working on going to get a new mic, a new condenser microphone, because this one's it's kind of had its day. I mean, I use this for recording and stuff like that. It's just
if you don't know,
it's a dynamic.
Dominic is a musician, so he records at home, and actually, that's one of the benefits. That's the first benefit.
That's another benefit
of becoming a patron.
Yep.
Is his self-titled
album.
Yeah, or EP anyway.
EP, yeah, because it's not really a full album. It's only like 7 tracks that I rushed out about 4 years ago.
But anyway, yes, thank you.
But they're all self-penned by me, and yes, I'm taking over this now.
Let's talk about your album a little bit more, shall we?
Let's give thanks for the Dominic Williams EP, everybody.
No, but we do want to thank our patrons, and because your support gives us the ability to improve our equipment, which improves our podcast.
And we're slowly doing it too.
Yeah, and eventually...
And I hope you're hearing the improvements
eventually, maybe we can work up to getting a nice camera and start recording some vlogs for our YouTube channel.
Right above the microphone, so we can put our podcast just sitting here in our little cubby hole here.
I don't know if anybody wants to see that, but yeah.
Yes, they do. Do you want to see it?
Anyway,
become a patron.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, patrons. And if you would like more information about how to support this podcast, then we do have a Patreon page.
Tina Buddy.
It's just Tina Buddy, or you can go on our website and check it out there.
Yep.
But anyway,
we've got links.
Yeah,
got links coming out of our link holes.
Anyway, in a couple of days, we're going to be giving thanks.
Yes.
And what exactly is Thanksgiving for any British listeners we may have, which there are very few of, but they do exist.
I'm listening as I'm recording this, and I say, well, it was always kind of like I never really knew about it before I came over here.
Did you?
No, I never really knew about Thanksgiving.
You'd heard of it, though,
well, yeah, once I got on... I think I got on the internet before I heard about it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't something I grew up
knowing about,
though.
Okay, yeah.
So I was just like, oh, we got Thanksgiving, and maybe I did some research on it and, found out what it was all about. And it was basically, it seemed like, people just get together and they eat turkey.
Yeah.
And they eat mashed potato and roast potato and veg and have gravy. And, dessert and stuff. And it's like, this sounds like Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
A month early.
Yeah.
Because it's the last Thursday of November. So that's around the 26th to the 28th around. It's always around that time, or the 25th. So it's kind of like, it's like a Christmas dinner a month early. So it's like, how is, Christmas dinner's not a big thing over here, is it, really? Because you've already kind of had Thanksgiving.
I mean, yeah, it's not the part you look forward to, I guess, about Christmas.
That's a bit, well,
the presents are the part you look forward to.
Yeah, I mean,
Christmas.
The presents and all that. But, I think Christmas dinner was always one of my favorite things, because everybody, the whole family was around. You got crackers and you got, the Christmas pudding.
It depends, I guess, on...
But Thanksgiving seems to have eliminated the need for that over here because we've had it a month early.
Well, most people don't have as much time off around Thanksgiving.
They only have like a day.
So, well, no, it's the last Thursday of the month. So some people, you might have off on Wednesday, but maybe not. Or you might have just like a half day off or a half day on Wednesday. So then you just have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like a 4-day weekend.
Yeah,
so that's not exactly long enough. A lot of the time. No. It's not long enough to travel great distances just for Thanksgiving for a lot of people. Yeah. So it depends.
People usually take off work though, like on the Wednesday or the Tuesday,
well,
don't they?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. It's like, if your family lives across the country, you're probably not going to see them on Thanksgiving. Hence, like, the show Friends. They do Friendsgiving because it's just like, you just spend it with whoever you
happen to be with at the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're probably not going to. Now, if your family lives within driving distance and it only might take a few hours to get to see them wherever they live, then you'll go and see them for Thanksgiving, probably.
That's not doable in Britain.
A few hours is nothing in America.
20 minutes and you're pushing it, I think,
Yeah, a few hours drive is nothing in America. So if your family lives within a few hours, you probably will see them on Thanksgiving, and it'll be a big affair, like you were saying about Christmas.
It's like, everybody's come in.
If it's not, if your family lives across the country and you're not really going to get off work and it's only technically going to be like a 4-day weekend for you, you're probably not going to see them. Christmas will be the bigger dinner the bigger celebration.
Because you'll probably get together.
Yeah, you'll probably get together on Christmas.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the family, really, you know? Whether you have a big Thanksgiving or whether you know,
I know. Usually, I never really had a large family. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was mostly my father's family that I spent my Christmases and my Thanksgiving with, even though we didn't celebrate.
Yeah.
So. Really, that was what, the Christmas lunch and everything was good.
Well, I mean, it's big.
As I got older,
Christmas dinner is big in Britain because you don't have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's say, so for me, when I was little, Thanksgiving Day would start off, we didn't really go anywhere for Thanksgiving because I lived in a small town and we had enough family there, I mean, we had family elsewhere too, but we had enough family close by that we just had Thanksgiving with who was around. So, there was a lot of people. So, so it would start off with me getting up and first of all watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
That was like a tradition. I've pretty much done it, I think, every year since, like, I don't know, I was born, probably.
In 2016, I actually found it for you online, because we were in Spain for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
For Thanksgiving in 2016, so visiting my dad.
Yeah.
They don't celebrate it in Spain either.
No.
So, I had to find the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
It was like
online.
a live stream.
A live stream for you.
I don't know what. It was like a live stream off of a building or something, though, because it was just like it wasn't like a webcam
coverage.
No, because there was no commentary or anything. So, like in America, when the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I don't know where in New York City, but when the tradition really started, or
probably the 1940s or something.
Why? Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the Miracle on 34th Street, which I think was like late 30s even that came out.
Yeah, maybe 1935 or something.
Maybe. So, I mean, it's been going 20s. At least that long. And I guess it was just like a big advertisement for Macy's department store.
Yeah, it sounds like, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day. They organize it, and I guess, I don't know if they pay for it or they just pay for the fact that they've got their name on it now.
I think, well, what usually happens in a parade, I don't know how.
Maybe it's organized by the city of New York or something.
I don't know how many. Yeah. It's probably organized by Macy's with help from the city because, they've got to provide police and stuff,
Well, yeah.
But what usually happens in a parade is anybody can be in it for the most part. I think now, and for the last probably
they televise
few
it
decades.
over here.
Yeah, they televise it. For the last few decades, at least, they do ask people to be in it, but I'm sure you probably have to pay to be in it unless you're asked, because it's essentially free advertising for you, isn't it? You know,
well,
I mean, it's not free if you have to pay, but it's televised. So you make a big float. You're riding on the float. I don't know how much detail I need to go into, whether British people know what a float is when I say a float.
Yeah, it's like a carnival type thing, you know. If you have a carnival, you have a float where people are like playing on the float, they're playing guitar, or they're just kind of like dancing, or they're singing, or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, or
it's just a car that goes slowly and people just sitting there waving, and, you know, it's just a big advertisement for whatever, you know.
They have bands that'll play in it, and when I say bands, I mean like professional bands, but they also invite high school and college marching bands to be in it. It's a big deal in America if you get invited to go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Yeah. It's like, wow, your school band is really great.
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been noticed, you know.
They have a lot of pop stars will be on the floats, TV shows, you know, cartoons.
They're usually lip syncing.
They're always, I think. Because the float is moving, and it's just like, what, you know. I mean, I guess they could be connected to something, but yeah, I think they're pretty much always lip syncing, and usually terribly at that.
Some of them don't even bother, because I mean, because it's cold usually in New York around this time, so they've got their gloves and everything on. So it's kind of like if they got a band playing a guitar that they're lip syncing a song to, it's like they're playing with gloves on and stuff, you know, and it's just kind of like, yeah.
I remember we watched this vlog of some British girl or girls, I can't remember, they were in New York around this time of year, and they went to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and they were like, we've stayed long enough. We're going back home to eat. Like, we don't understand what this is all about. We don't get it. Yeah, they're just like, we don't get it. And I remember thinking, what's there to get? It's just like fun. It's just entertaining. But I guess they couldn't see anything because
they couldn't see anything from
so
where
many
they
people
are, yeah.
deep. Yeah, it's like they couldn't see. There's big balloons.
So it was just like, okay, well,
yeah. it's better to watch
much
on
more
TV.
fun on TV because you have like Broadway shows will do a little performance on the Macy's kind of carpet.
Yeah, right in front of
the doors.
The department store, yeah.
They'll do like a performance.
Because the parade goes from like Central Park all the way into town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite a long route. Anyway, and then it ends with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus in the sleigh, and it's like, that's officially ringing in the Christmas season,
yes.
Although, like...
Christmas is here!
Yeah.
Even though it's been here for a month already.
It didn't used to, though. Like, that was the start of Christmas, and for me as a kid, like, that's why I watched it, I think, because, Santa's gonna be at the end, and then, it'll be Christmas, you know?
Christmas!
Yes, and it was just, like, so exciting that by the end of this parade... It's officially the start of Christmas. You know, they start Christmas now. Like, people put up their Halloween decorations like the day after Halloween, and they literally put their Christmas decorations out in place of the Halloween decorations. So yeah, for me, I don't agree with that, because then Thanksgiving dinner becomes like Christmas dinner. If you already have the tree up and everything, it's kind of like. It's Christmas without the presents then, if all your decorations are up. So I
mean, that's essentially what Thanksgiving is. It's just like a day everybody just chills out, and then they, you know, like, the food is coming out. I mean, it's kind of weird to me. It's still weird to me. I think it always will be.
Well, you know, though, what the origin of it is.
I know the origin is, the Pilgrims and the Indians who helped them, and, you know, the Native Americans who helped them, and all that kind of stuff. Because it was a bad harvest. They didn't know how to work the land or anything. They were just basically...
They moved over here.
They had no idea what they were doing, and the natives helped them. And then by way of thanks, they were like, we're giving thanks to these... And ever since then, it's kind of become kind of one of those things where the Native Americans are just like, get rid of Thanksgiving. You know, it's just like because it's got bad connotations.
Understandably, yeah. So that's the origins, but since then it's just a day to literally give thanks for what you have. You know, your family, your friends,
give thanks,
your roof over your head, like you know, the food that's on your table. It's just like, he's doing his Christina Aguilera, Genie in the Bottle impersonation.
Give thanks to Christina Aguilera, everybody.
For some reason. But yeah, there's one Thanksgiving. This is a personal story, but I will share it with you because it didn't happen to me. So my brother might kill me. I don't know. But he was only like, I don't know, 4 or 5. 4 or
5 or something.
Yeah. I think he was 4. Anyway, one Thanksgiving, as I was watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, my little brother, who is 5 years younger than me, by the way, so I was like 9 and he was like 4, I think.
So it was about 1991. Yeah.
I was wanting to watch, hey, you're telling them my age. Stop it!
No, this is the original movie came out.
So I'm watching it, and he doesn't want to watch it. He wants to watch Ninja Turtles or something. I don't know. And he decides, the plug for the television was plugged into an extension cord, which that fit in America. I don't know what it's like in Britain because all of you guys' plugs are a lot bigger.
3-pronged, yeah.
But this was, I guess, you know, it was into an extension cord.
It's usually like 2 or 3 prongs over here, but they're smaller.
Yeah, but the Americans will know what I'm talking about. The orange extension cords are quite a thick, strong cord, and so when you plug something into it, it's quite tight.
Yeah, it's quite tight. You can't
really. It takes a lot of effort to pull them apart once you don't need to use it anymore. So he couldn't get them apart. He wanted to unplug the television to stop me from watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Which he couldn't pull them apart, so I'm just sitting there watching it, like, not bothered. I think we were supposed to be getting ready to go to some family member's house for Thanksgiving. And he decides, you know, to take the initiative. And he grabs a pair of metal fingernail clippers.
Yeah, he really thought too much into this, didn't he?
He's like a little evil genius. Like, what can I do to pry these apart to stop her from watching this parade? So he gets the metal fingernail file that's part of the fingernail clippers. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those in Britain,
we you know, I know.
It's like a, you know, it's
nail
like
file,
It's like a Swiss Army knife, only it's got like a couple different things attached. Yeah, so he pulls out the fingernail file portion of it and shoves it down in between the television plug and the extension cord to pry the plug out of the extension cord. Well,
we all know what happened
Metal
next.
And electricity do not mix, as we know. Do not try this at home, kids.
There was a big explosion, wasn't there?
Well, there was no explosion, but I did see, because I was like sitting on the bed and he was down in the floor, like being the little sneaky brat that he was. And all of a sudden I just saw sparks shoot up, like from his lap, like just shoot into the air, sparks. And then poof, all the electricity goes out. He jumps up and runs over to like a corner, just huddled there like that. Like, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And I was just like, what did you do? Because I had no idea he had the metal thing down there. You know, I thought he was still just trying to pull them apart.
Yes.
So I was like, what in God's name happened? You know? And my dad comes running in and he's like, what happened? And so Christian tells him, oh, I guess I can say my brother's name. I don't know. We
all know who it is now. There's only one Christian in the world.
My dad asks what happened, and he says, you know, he tells him the story, what he was doing and everything. And then all of a sudden we both notice that he's got like a little burn because he didn't have a shirt on, I think, because like I said, we were supposed to be getting dressed and ready to go. He has like a little burn mark on his belly, and then on the same side of his belly where he had the burn mark, his pinky toe of his foot was like, it looked like a cartoon. It was the end of it was kind of exploded open like that, and there was literally smoke coming out of it. I am not exaggerating. There was smoke coming out of his toe, and we were just like, okay. And so, of course, he has to go to the emergency room. It's a whole big thing. They had to fly him to the burn center in Lubbock because they were afraid that the electricity might have still been in burning up his like muscles and tissue and stuff in his leg. What they determined was that it had gone in his. I'm going really into this story, but what they had determined was it had gone in. He was holding it, I guess, in his lap. Right at his stomach, right at his waist. It went in, but luckily it just traveled down his leg and literally shot out his toe. Yeah. So he was lucky that it didn't just stay in there, like burning his leg up. But I guess they were concerned about that. They wanted to send him to the burn unit and check it out and whatever. And then I was just all devastated and being very dramatic for the rest of the day because I was like, if only I had let him watch the Ninja Turtles. You know, it's all my fault. I was very like, yes, this is my fault that this has happened instead of him just being a little punk. But anyway, that's my Thanksgiving. That's my most memorable Thanksgiving story. It's like my family is basically not there and I'm just there with like my grandparents and a bunch of cousins that I felt like I didn't know
20 years later, though, you did a sequel, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you went back to the...
We went back to the scene of the crime.
Scene of the crime and you did it was a remake. It was. But it was very bad because no one got, like, no toes got exploded or anything. I was like, this was useless. Not as good as the original.
Oh my God. He's fine, though. He's the parent of the little niece and nephew that me and Dominic talk about sometimes. Yes. But anyway... So you got here in 2010 and you had your first Thanksgiving the first time you came here in 2008.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just like sitting there just like yeah.
So, I mean, what can you remember about that experience?
I remember there was a lot of food. No, I mean, I remember it was just kind of like, it was a bit, okay, you know, I'll buy that, you know.
Yeah.
I'll do, you know, I'll get into this. Because, I mean, I like turkey and I like gravy. I think I had to make... You wanted me to make Yorkshire puddings, didn't you?
I guess. I don't remember.
I think you wanted me to make Yorkshire puddings, so I was like, oh, I've never made them before, so...
Yeah.
Or maybe we didn't make them, I can't remember. But, yeah, the first time it was just kind of like, you know, Christmas dinner. Yeah, it was kind of like, it was just a bit weird to me that, you know, this kind of thing existed, really, you know. It's just kind of like, you know, why do it? Why not just give thanks on Christmas, you know?
So, the traditional Thanksgiving meal, and it varies house to house.
It varies house to house, but the common traditional meat is turkey.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, in Hispanic households, you probably have... Like, maybe you might have tamales even on the side of the Thanksgiving dinner because tamales around this time of year, they're very much a thing that people are making in Hispanic households. My grandmother and her sisters and everybody were always making
tamales.
Them.
I'm not a big fan of tamales.
I think they're traditionally more like a New Year's thing or possibly Christmas. I can't remember.
I thought buñuelos were a New Year's thing.
Buñuelos. That's like
those are good.
That's like a dessert type thing. Yeah. But anyway, so it depends on your family, really. I mean, I've heard Italian families have like a big lasagna sometimes instead of a turkey or in addition to the turkey. But you're going to have a turkey. You're going to have some kind of potato, whether they're roasted or
Sweet
mashed.
Potatoes with marshmallow is the thing. Yes. And I think you put walnuts or something over them too, didn't you? No. Or you put walnuts in them?
No.
I remember I've had them with walnuts somewhere. Maybe...
My sister-in-law makes them with pecans.
Oh,
yeah. But I don't think that's traditional. It's just sweet potatoes are just the baked sweet potatoes, which they're not actually sweet potatoes. They're yams.
Yeah, yams,
They come in a can, yeah.
I like them.
And then they put marshmallows on them. Yeah. I don't know why. I guess because they're sweet.
I don't know, yeah, because I mean...
I was never a fan of that with marshmallow. It's just kind of
like, okay, you know, let's do this.
Another weird thing that they make at Thanksgiving that I don't like is green bean casserole.
Nah, I can get out of here.
I don't like that. I don't even know what all is in it. I'm not a huge fan of green beans in the first place, but they do green beans, and then they put the French fried onions on the top. I don't know what kind of, there's like a cream of mushroom gravy or something inside.
Yeah, it's just, no.
Another
broccoli
thing,
cheese casserole.
Yeah, another thing we always had in my family, I don't know if it's traditional or not, but it's traditional in my family, is broccoli cheese casserole. And I do love that one. It's broccoli, rice, cheese, and then you bake it in the oven, basically. And I mean, there's like spices and seasonings in there.
I'm just not a big fan of that either, really.
I
don't know. I don't know. I like sweet potatoes, and I like sweet potato with marshmallow, but sometimes I'm just kind of like in the mood for mash, because I mean, they do mash here, not roast potatoes.
Yeah.
Mash is more common.
Sometimes you might have roast potatoes, but no, most people I think would have mashed potatoes. Because mashed potatoes...
Roasties are the big thing, the big drawing.
Because usually, especially if you're having like a big family get together, mashed potatoes is a lot easier to feed a lot of people than roasting the potatoes. So I think that's probably why, rather than people prefer mashed potatoes over roast, I think it's just that it stretches. The same thing with the casseroles. They're things that stretch,
Yeah.
Things that feed a large group. You put them in a pan, and it's just like... rolls we usually have, but since Dominic's been here, we've been having Yorkshire puddings. But you've been informed that Yorkshire puddings are a no-no.
They're not traditional. No, in like Christmas dinner, nobody has them with their Christmas dinner, I've heard somewhere. I think someone in Yorkshire said that to me.
Yeah.
Someone said, what are you doing putting Yorkshire puddings with Christmas dinner? You don't do that. They just go with the Sunday roast. And I'm like, what?
What?
Who made this rule?
Who are you?
Get out of my life.
No, but I love Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire puddings and gravy.
Yeah, we have gravy anyway. It goes with mashed potatoes, turkey. Why not?
Yeah.
I
could literally eat Yorkshire puddings and gravy for a meal, and that would be it.
Before Dominic came, though, we would have had rolls. I don't know what. I'm curious, though, you guys...
And then rolls are like dinner rolls. They're like these tiny little quick bread rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
British people don't know what rolls are.
Oh, they know what rolls are, but they're not the same sort of thing, like the tiny little rolls, They're like petit pan rolls.
They're sort of like a bap, only in a more of like a square kind of shape.
Oh, yeah, and they're like kind of like those Hawaiian sweet rolls. That's what you usually get, isn't it?
Well, no, we usually make them from,
from a can.
Self-rising. No, not from they don't make rolls from a can.
Yeah, you do. You got those pill... You just call me a knob. I'll have you know that you're not getting any Yorkshire pudding this year. That is it. Giving thanks is over.
No, they don't make them in a can. No, those are biscuits you're thinking of.
Yeah, they do the dinner rolls and the crescent rolls they do in a can. I know them.
But those are not rolls. The rolls will come in a pan like that, and sometimes they're frozen, and you can put them in the oven, and they'll rise. They'll be like in like a little ball shape, and they'll rise in the oven.
A little ball shape.
Yeah, maybe we'll have rolls this year, so you don't even remember what a roll is. It's
been
so long.
Yes, I do remember what a roll is. You just can't eat it with the gravy, though.
Yeah, you can. They're freaking delicious with gravy and mashed potatoes.
Gravy, you knob. Yes.
Oh my god. Cranberry is another thing you have.
I used to like cranberry. This is something I used to like.
Do you have that in Britain?
Yeah, you have turkey and cranberry and stuff. Cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
My uncle used to make a good cranberry with like port, like his own homemade, and that was really good. But then I just kind of stopped going off it. I don't know. I just go through phases.
Oh, I love cranberry.
And I'm eating, and I had it here one year. I had it with the cranberry. I was like, I don't like the sweet and the savoury together anymore. It's just kind of like, I'm not into that anymore. And, I just have...
Knob.
Your knob.
Oh my god. Sometimes, you guys, we just forget that you're here and we just talk.
Yes. And she calls me a knob. I call her a hobnob.
No, but what I started to ask you before is what do you typically eat? Like, what does your Thanksgiving usually look like? Or what, if you don't really do it now as an adult, maybe you don't live around family and so you just...
If you live alone, what do you do? Do you get just a takeaway in? Oh, I guess they wouldn't do takeaway on Thanksgiving, would they? Are there places? That's what places are open on Thanksgiving? There's actually Chinese places.
No, there's actually a lot of restaurants open on Thanksgiving. I think they do.
Every restaurant
they do a
except
Thanksgiving
hamburgers.
meal. Well, like restaurants, not fast food places, like restaurants. So
I think,
and they do Thanksgiving dinners. So I'm like, I don't know. This is not a fancy place by any means, but particularly I'm thinking of like Luby's. I think they do like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I thought it was like kind of like in the run up to Thanksgiving.
No, I think it's open on Thanksgiving. Restaurants, I think, will be, yeah, I think they're open.
Because I know, like, pubs and stuff on Christmas Day in Britain open and they do Christmas dinner for some, and then they close at, like, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But some just kind of, like, open for the morning and you come in down for your early morning pint.
But yeah, so let us know.
Early morning being, like, 11 o'clock.
Let us know on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you like to talk to us what you typically have. Let us know if you have anything. I think
since Thanksgiving's an American holiday... hamburgers should be the official meal of Thanksgiving.
One year, my aunt had just come back from Italy, and she had spent quite some time there, and so she was, like, really in a bruschetta phase, and she brought that over, like, as an appetizer for Thanksgiving, so that's sort of become a thing that we've woven in and out of Thanksgivings over time, because my brother absolutely loves bruschetta, so that's definitely not a typical American Thanksgiving dish, but that's something different that we have added to our Thanksgiving. Not every year, but here and there, because what else? Let's see. Desserts. So that's some of the typical kind of dishes, and then you get to dessert, and dessert is typically pumpkin pie or pecan pie.
Pumpkin or pecan.
Around these parts, anyway. I don't know what other people might have, but those are generally the two big Thanksgiving-y options.
Yeah.
And
pumpkin, you don't really have apple pie or anything.
Not on Thanksgiving, no.
Pumpkin pie, pecan pie. Yeah.
I can't remember what other...
Apple pie.
There might be like a fruit salad. In addition to the Thanksgiving, and when I say fruit salad, I don't mean fruit salad, because these fruit salads usually
have marshmallows.
Marshmallows, yeah, they're called something else. I can't remember what they're called.
American fruit salad.
They have marshmallows. They have like either Cool Whip or whipped cream. They might have like
Cool Whip.
They might have like a Jell-O mixed into it, and it's not gelled, but it's like
just kind of like slimy. It's like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mixed with the Cool Whip, and I don't know. Sometimes it has nuts. Sometimes it just has the Cool Whip. Yeah.
Sometimes it just has the marshmallows.
It's just a bowl of marshmallows.
It's just a bowl of marshmallows shaped like fruit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, you eat. And then
you sit back going, oh, I've eaten too much.
Football is usually on Thanksgiving.
There's only one season in Texas, and that's football season, y'all.
I can't stand. But sometimes they'll start showing Christmas movies Thanksgiving evening, or there'll be like a premiere of a movie that's just come out, like a Disney movie or something like that. There'll be some kind of movie on TV. Sound of Music, or am I thinking of another holiday?
Probably Christmas. Oh no, you're thinking of the Christmas Story on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's repeated, literally back to back.
But a lot of people, and this is going to go into our next podcast, a lot of people, after they eat their Thanksgiving, they start hitting up Black Friday sales.
Hitting up the Black Friday sales.
And we'll talk about that
on Thursday. We'll talk about that in the next podcast.
Yeah.
Which will be our 100th podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes. We're there. Yes, 100 episodes, you guys.
100 episodes. Can you believe it?
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
We'll talk to you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.